everybody, my name is Katie and today I'm here with my November wrap up. Woohoo! I'm so sorry I have to use artificial light to help me with this video. That's because it's dark and miserable outside, but you know, that's England, so it's what you're going to expect, especially in December because it's winter and it's going to be dark, so gotta live on and just deal with it. I've also been decorating my house today with Christmas decorations. Me and my nan, we always put our decorations up in the beginning of the month and it just makes it so much more festive. We have got our Christmas tree up and this is what it looks like. It's so big and it's beautiful. We've got so many decorations that we have managed to collect throughout our lives, and we always gain at least a couple of decorations a year because it's like a yearly thing that we get new decorations for the tree. And as you can see behind me, I've got tinsel decorating on my bookshelf, and here is a picture here that I took earlier of it and I love it. Also opened up my advent calendar. It's a Lion King one, so I'm proud that I managed to find a Lion King calendar and it's just fantastic. So I'm really in a Christmassy sort of mood. November was a really good reading month for me, despite the stuff that happened, and I think the reason why I did so well with my reading was because of that. I had 2 or 3 days where I had a reading slump or a general slump where I just did not want to do anything at all, and then after that I found that when jumping into books and into the worlds inside the books, I found that I was distracted from the main thing that was happening, and after that I just read and I was just really enjoying myself and escaping from that. I was surprised that I managed to personally beat my goal and go beyond that by getting 20 books read. And I don't know how I managed to do that really. It's completely phenomenal and strange and bizarre, but I am really proud of myself. I always aim for 10 books every month. I aim for duplicate figures, and to achieve twice that amount is absolutely fantastic. I've never ever read that amount in my life and I'm just happy. So I'm now going to reveal to you the books that I read in November in order of when I read them. I'll give a brief summary of the book and like what I thought, and then I'll give a rating. If I've done a video review on it, it will be linked somewhere around my head, and if I've done written reviews, they will be down below. So here it goes. The first book that I read in November is High Society by Ali Carter. This is the first book in the High Society series, and you guys picked this for me to read for my viewer's choice for the previous month, but I never got around to reading it, unfortunately. However, I managed to finish this at the beginning of November and I quite enjoyed it. This is about Katerina Bishop, and she lives in a family where they're used to being thieves and stealing things and getting away with it, and her dad is being framed for stealing these pictures. So Kat is given this deadline to prove to this person that her father hasn't done it. So it's a really great mystery and I did really enjoy it, and I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I managed to complete in November is Teacher's Pest by Charles Gilman. This is book number 3 in the Lovecraft Middle School series, and it is a middle grade series. It's very different. I absolutely love this series so much. It's so easy going. If you would like to take a break from what you're reading and you want to go with something easy, a fresh breath of air, then this series is definitely for you. I recommend this series for all ages, and this book is just continuing on with the story with all of the main characters, and it's so fun and it's different. This one was really creepy, this one's got bugs in it, and I loved it, so I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. And then after that I read Substitute Creature by Charles Gilman, which is book number 4 in the Lovecraft Middle School series. This one had a lighter approach than the previous books, however I still really enjoyed it. It's a real powerful punch, and I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars as well. And then I read The Thorn and the Blossom by Theodora Goss. This is a two-sided love story, and it's got romance in it, it's got an adventure in it, and it's told in like a fairy tale sort of way. I did really enjoy it, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. There were some points of this book that were repeated, and that is why I gave it a lower mark. And then I read The Dollhouse, Asylum by Mary Gray. Unfortunately, I don't have the physical copy on me, but I thought this book was really, really creepy. It's definitely recommended to read around Halloween because it is so eerie and it's really, really weird. And because it was so weird, that is what kept me reading it, and it was good. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. And then unfortunately my slump happened, and I was recommended to reread a book that I know I've loved before. So I had a long hard look at my books and I decided to read Tommy Sullivan is a Freak by Meg Cabot. This is also known as Pants on Fire, and I read this when this first came out about 6 years ago. Absolutely loved it. It's really, really romantic. It's about this girl called Katie, and she's like perfect, she's the perfect boyfriend. However, she's kind of cheating on him with some other guy because she's kind of got bored of his boyfriend, so she's not a very good person really. And then all of a sudden Tommy Sullivan returns to town, and he's completely different than everybody last saw him. He's hot, he's good looking, he's got a nice body, and he's got this oozing personality, and he is starting to get to Katie, and everybody kind of hates them because of something that Tommy did, and you just want to know what he did that made him leave town for people to hate him so much. And it's a really, really great story. I absolutely loved it, and rereading this again was just fantastic, and I'm glad I did because it just brought me back into the love of reading again. So of course I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read in November is called Skewing of the Sun, and it's by Nicola Marsh, and I read this ebook for a blog tour, and I wasn't expecting it to be really, really good, and I absolutely really, really enjoyed it. I thought the characters were really fun, especially the main character. She really, really told the story well, and she had this sort of like hilarious thing about her, and the writing was really, really good, and I honestly can't wait to see what is going to happen in the next book. So I did really, really enjoy this, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I managed to complete was a library book that I borrowed, and it's called Love at Second Sight by Kathy Hopkins. I thought this was a really, really cute read, and it had one of those endings where you just are sort of like, oh, it's so, so cute. I really, really couldn't fault it, and that is why I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. And then I ended rereading a book that I've read before, and it's called In Your Dreams by Amy Martin. This was the first ever video review I did on this channel, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. And the author of this book is she's so, so lovely, and she sent me her book that comes after this one, the sequel to this, for review, so I just had to reread this to remember my feelings and thoughts on the book, and I just really loved it just as much as I did the first time, so I gave this 5 out of 5 stars again. Then I read a review book, and it's called Tinder by Sally Gardner, and this is now released, and this is based on the Tinder box by Hans Christian Andersen. It's written like it's a fairy tale, and you sort of go on this adventure with the main character, and it's really, really good. It's dark and mysterious, and it had a really, really sort of good ending despite the consequences, and I did really, really enjoy this, so I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read a novella called Free For, and it's by Veronica Roth, and this comes after Divergent, the first book in that series, and this is a scene from Divergent from Tobias's perspective, and it was really, really cute. And just after reading this really, really short novella, I absolutely loved it, and I just would love to hear more from Tobias's perspective because he's just so, so lovely. And although it was short, I loved it, so I gave this novella 5 out of 5 stars. Then I managed to complete As You Wake by Amy Martin, which was the sequel to In Your Dreams, and this book has a lot more character development from other characters, and it was really, really more emotional. There's a lot more romance involved, and the storyline was so good, and the way this book ended leaves me wanting to read the next book. So I loved it, of course, and I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Chocolate SOS by Asylum, which is book number 6 in the Jess Jordan series, and this is a very similar series to the Georgia Nicholson series. I really, really liked this book. I thought it was so funny, and it just had that sort of spunk that put you in a really, really good mood, and I can't wait to see what is going to happen in the next book, because there are just so many things I want to find out, and I love this book, so I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Finally, yes, I was reading this along with Bookie Nerd 007, and we both absolutely loved this book. It was so phenomenal. Even though it is like a fantasy sort of novel, we did not expect there to be like a murder mystery thing going on, and it was really, really good. I loved the characters, loved things that were going on. I liked how this book wasn't really centering on the main character, Selena. I liked how it was going from the prince to the king and to other characters. I thought that was really interesting, and I loved it so much. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I honestly can't wait to see what is going to happen in the sequel. I then read a short story called The Gift, and it's by Carly Perrin, and this was a short Christmassy romancy story that the author sent me, and it was so cute, and it was just oozing with romance, and it got me really, really into Christmas. I loved it so much that I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Then I completed Aunty Goddess by Kenda Blake. I was reading this along with Keisha from the Forsaken 707, and this is a book that's got gods and goddesses in it, and there is a mysterious thing that's happening to the gods and goddesses. They are not feeling well, they're kind of dying, and then the character Cassie, she discovers there's something about her that is really, really important to these gods, and there's a big old war going on, and there's a lot of like battling and war and loss, and quite emotional sort of towards the end, but I did really enjoy this. I can't wait to see what is going to happen in the next book, because this has ended on such a sort of low point that I'm just like, what is going to happen next, because I wasn't expecting that ending. So I look forward to it, and I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I then managed to complete the audio CD set of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is my CD set that I use in my car, but I finished it off in my home because I wasn't working as much, and normally I listen to it whilst driving to and from work, and I only had a couple of discs left to finish, and I loved this so much. There was so much emotion, especially towards the end. I really feel everything that Harry was feeling. He was feeling such anger and sadness, and like Dumbledore was just so awesome as always, and I really did love it. And to get so emotional over something, even just while you're listening to it, Stephen Fry does such an amazing job. He narrates all of these, and he's really, really good. He does all the voices really well, and I just got so really involved in it. I was just angry at Professor Umbridge. I just wanted to kill her so much, because she was so annoying, and she was a horrible person. And yeah, I just love this, so I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I then read a library book called Dead Rules, and it's by Randy Russell, and this was a really, really good book actually, and it's got like ghosts in it, and basically the main character, she gets killed and she goes to this sort of ghost school, and then she meets these other people, and she's met these really great friends, and then she learns to discover that how she died wasn't an accident at all, that someone actually did it. Somebody actually killed her. And I really did enjoy this book, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I then read another novella called In Time by Alexandra Brack, and this goes between The Darkest Minds and Never Fade, and it's from a particular character's perspective, and it's quite dark, it's mysterious, and it does have sadness in it, but I thought it was really good, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I really actually can't wait. And last but not least, I managed to read The Dangerous Days of Daniel X by James Patterson, and this is the first book in the Daniel X series. It's like a middle grade young adult series, and it's really fun. I know that James Patterson writes books with really short chapters, and I just wanted to fit in one more book before the end of the month, and I got this book from my library, and I wanted to see what his middle grade young adult series was going to be like, and it's really good. It's about this boy, and he has these mysterious powers. He can manifest these beings into being his parents, even though they got killed by these aliens. And there's this list, and all these aliens are on this list, and basically Daniel X has to battle these on the list, and obviously the lower number they get, then they get more powerful. So he has to fight like number 6, and it's a lot more powerful than the other ones, than let's say number 30. And the top of the list is the locust that killed his parents, so he just wants to defeat the person in a way of revenge, and it's really fun, and I love how it's written, and it was just a fantastic book to finish for the end of November, and I loved it, so I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So there you have it. Those were all of the books and novellas that I managed to read in November. Please do give me a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video. I managed to read a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're going to have a fantastic day and have a fantastic December. My name is Katie, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!